Today, I'm going to walk you through my process for creating a visual identity. This time is for a passion project, is for a brief that Modern Brief has launched on their Instagram, and I thought this time I will participate. It's about a cinnamon bun shop that apparently offers the most delicious cinnamon buns. And I love cinnamon buns, so this brief was calling my name. My first step into creating a visual identity is to look for inspiration and research the type of brand that I'm working with. So I looked at different cinnamon bun and bakery stores and different brands, and I also looked through packaging just so that I can get a feel about the brand. But I looked through the brief that the account has shared, and it says that it's modern, it's high quality, it's fun, and it's bold. And this is what I'm taking into account. After I've done my research and I've gathered some inspiration and information about the industry and what I'm working on, then it's time to choose a few fonts so that I can start working on my logo concepts for the brand. This time I wanted to focus on the adjectives that Modern Brief has given, which is bright, bold, modern, but it's also high quality. So it's not super fun, it's not childish, but it has a bit of a fun character to it. So I don't want to go too fun with it, but I wanted to have a unique character, and this is really important when we are designing a visual identity, because the whole point of having a logo is to stand out, be unique, and be memorable. So after I've tried a few fonts, I found one that really stood out for me, and I felt that this is the font for this specific brand. And I tried a few, but this was the perfect one for me for the vision I had for the brand. Now, obviously, if this is an actual project, I will have much more information from the client. I will have a questionnaire filled with answers on specific brand related questions that will help to understand what's the business's goals and the vision, if they already exist, if they have pain points. And in general, it's a very different process. It's much more time consuming, but it's also much more clear. So this is a fun project. So I'm just taking into account the information I have, and then from then I'm just working with my gut, what I would like for this specific brand. After the brand's font for the logo has been chosen, I will be trying to customize it and make it more unique, make it stand out, and actually create a logo mark. We might have a symbol at the end, we might have a few variations of the logo depending on the type of brand that we're working with. It's one of the questions that you need to ask your client at the start, what their plans are with the brand, what they're looking to get from their visual identity when they work with you, because most of the businesses, they will need more than one logo variation, and that's because we use the logos for a lot of different applications, and our logos need to be responsive. Now, here at the start, I was really trying to see if I can work maybe the swirl of the cinnamon buns in the sea, but also I didn't want to make the logo very obvious, because that's another thing that we need to be careful with. So I'm really trying a few things. I'm not really sure exactly what I was trying to do, but I was trying to create this swirl in the sea, but it ended up not looking like a sea. It was a bit complex. I wasn't sure how I was feeling about it, and it was not clear what it was. And again, I wasn't sure what I was trying to do, but I had to try out things and see what I'm looking for. And then after a few rounds of trial and error, I decided that I really wanted to play with the icing and not that much with the swirl. I just felt that it was suitable for this specific brand, and I ended up really liking the overall look of the icing on the top of the whole logo mark. Next, I decided to add a slogan underneath so that I can describe the business in quite a fun way. And also we have a different variation for the main logo. So we have the main logo for their store and maybe their cards and their signs, depending on the shape. We will see later on in the mock-ups. But we have the slogan on the main logo, and then we also have the logo mark by itself. As you can see, it works great when it's small or when it's large, and this is what we're looking for in a logo. And then I am also creating a monogram for the brand, just in case they want to use it for their packaging, as a logo, as a pattern, or anything basically. So I have implemented the icing concept on the two C's from the Cina and the Sin. I made it could be either just double the C from the cinnamon, but it could also be two words for sin. So I have inverted the second C so that they look at each other, and then I have added a bit of icing on both of them. And I wanted to make them more stacked as I have them here, because I felt that this way it's gonna be an interesting look in a pattern way, and you will see a bit later on that it actually works really nice diagonal shape. And of course now we have the logos in black, that we will always have them in black as a variation, but I also wanted to make them colorful because this brand needs to look delicious, it needs to look vibrant and welcoming as well, modern, but I didn't want to just leave it in at black. I wanted to focus a lot more on the color combination. So I chose a few colors that I really liked and different color palettes that I found online that I felt I could use a combination of those to see what works best. And as you can see, I tried a few combinations just to find the right one. But then I realized that if I add a background to the whole logo, it will make it even more stand out, and it will create kind of a stroke but also a background so that we can have the icing and the logo in a lighter color and we can have enough contrast. Then, as I promised, I felt like they could use some patterns so that they have, wrapping paper for their baked goods, or they might use it on napkins or packaging or anything really. And I thought the monogram would look perfect for that, especially because it has this diagonal shape to it and it's kind of creating a really nice shape. So I was playing a bit with the layout of the pattern and I decided that the hexagon pattern was really cool with that. And it actually looks really nice and I could definitely see it somewhere printed. And I did two different colorways and it looks really cool. I cannot help but think that this looks a bit Christmassy, and I'm not sure if it's the colors, the fact that we have the icing on the top and it might look like Santa's hat or something else. I don't know. Tell me in the comments if you felt the same. But overall, I really enjoyed designing this concept. It was a really fun project. I really got to explore different things. And I actually quite liked the overall look of the finished result. And here are some mock-ups that I hope you enjoy. I did some outside of a store. I did some packaging for their baked goods, and I also created a really unique instant icing so that you can pour it fresh as soon as you arrive home. Just pour it on your cinnamon buns and you have fresh icing. Let me know in the comments if you enjoyed this and if you would like to see more videos with the process of really fun projects.